Alright, welcome everybody. Here we are. Back up on the flight deck in November 343 Bravo Whiskey. You'll notice it's a little quiet. I had to disable ATC for this flight. Unfortunately, it was acting up. It happens. We were cleared to take off from Fort Collins, Colorado, where we took off 43 minutes 39 seconds ago, and they wanted us to take off runway 15 with a 21 knot tailwind, which called me crazy. I'm sorry, I just wasn't willing to do. So I took off from runway 33 with a 21 knot headwind, which makes a lot more sense, and then ATC stopped working. So we're having to roll with the punches, disabled ATC, and we are now 59 miles from, where are we going? That's the next big question, right? Omaha, Nebraska. Kilo Oscar Mike Alpha. Where it is 7 degrees. 7 degrees, you heard me. And the winds are out of the east. Winds are out of the east at 8 knots in real life. We'll see if that holds true. Turn off our bank limiter now that we're below 18,000. It's like snow on the ground, if I'm seeing that correctly. Anyway, we're going to land on the ILS runway 14 right at Omaha. ILS frequency for the 14 right is 110.3. All right, we got that inputted. And our minimums are 1,185 feet. 1185. Okay, that was easy. Airport elevation at Omaha is 985 feet. Approach course is 142. Just realized we're in heading mode and need to be in nav mode. So we're making that left turn now. Slightly behind schedule, but nothing we need to worry about. Should catch it without too much difficulty. Let's continue slowing. It's going to need our anti-icing equipment, I think, is probably a safe bet. So let's get it on just to be safe. Dipping down into those clouds. 48 miles now. At 40 miles, we'd expect to be at 12,000 feet, but the airport's at 1,000 feet above sea level, so expect to be at 13,000 feet. Look at that! That's solid snow on the ground. Looks good. Let's adjust our altimeter. There we go. 3014 on the altimeter. Also had to adjust the approach path for this. It was all screwy and goofy on the setup page, so I actually managed to adjust it in sim using the FPL button, and we added KBTA. There's an airplane on final to 14 left, I gather. That's good to see. It's a hopeful sign. Anyway, dipping down into the clouds here. But yeah, you know, it's always interesting when you have to tinker with the flight plan in sim, because you never know exactly what's going to happen. But it worked. It worked just fine. And we deleted a waypoint. We added a waypoint. It's kind of tricky to describe, but I'll give it a go here as we descend through these clouds. Do have visual on the ground. Snowy ground, but we have visual on it. Thank goodness they got this dealt with. 40 miles out. Customarily expect to be at 13,000 feet at a 1,000-foot runway, or a 1,000-foot AG, a 1,000-foot MSL mean sea level airport. We're at 11,000 feet, so we can shallow out our descent rate a little bit. Airspeed looks good. 250. We'll continue slowing. Love the lighting. Love how you can see patches of light of sunlight coming through the openings in the clouds. That's really cool. Anyway, the original flight plan had us, I don't know how to describe it, other than goofy. OTC was where we would normally be our initial approach fix, but it had us turning left and right and doing all sorts of weird stuff, so I deleted OTC as a waypoint and put in KBTA instead, which provided for a approach course that struck me as far more plausible. 30 miles out now. We had an unbelievable tailwind on this flight. Really wild. I mean, 120 knots coming right from behind us, so that really moved us along quite nicely. Showing us on the ground here probably in about 9 or 10 minutes. Continue slowing. Whoops. 220. All right, so we're headed to KBTA, then we'll make our right turn. Airport's over here. Let me see if we can see it. There's a chance we could see it. Where is it? Oh, there it is. That's it. I suspect. Yeah, it's either, that's what we saw is either KOMA or KOFF. Anyway, we're going to have visual on the runway, which always makes life easier. Shallow outer descent rate even more. Slow down just a bit. See if we're getting any ILS. We are. See that? 20.7 IOMA. That is the identifier code for ILS runway 14 right. So that's very encouraging. We actually even have glide slope information already, if you can believe it. Great news. So now we can kind of stop guessing in terms of whether we're too high, whether we're too low. We just need to get this white diamond right dead center between these two white dots. And once that happens, we are on the glide slope. Once we get to KBTA right here and make that right turn, it's from technically based on this modified approach course that I've done, from Zatar, Z-A-T-A-R, Zulu Alpha Tango Alpha Romeo, to the airport is just 4.3 miles. So, but once we get to Zatar, we're on short final, so. Increase our descent rate slightly, slow down just a bit.
Landing gear, landing gear.
Need to chase, we don't want to end up chasing that glide slope. We need this white diamond to be coming up. So the way to do that is to descend more aggressively. Not unsafely, mind you. 200 knots. Now you see how that white diamond, last time I zoomed in on it, it was down here. Now it's sort of slowly creeping up. We're at 6,500. We're depressurized. As we begin to make that right turn at KBTA, I'll turn nav source over to FMS, from FMS to nav 1, and then we'll hit the APPR and fly that approach.
Landing gear, landing gear, landing gear.
Deal with this shit face.
Landing gear.
There we go. It's all about tinkering with it. Gonna need our speed brake here. Set 180 once we re-engage the auto throttle. That'll enable us. It's, you know, once we make that right turn at KBTA, it's, you know, it's on. So we're gonna have to We're not going to have a long, 12, 15-mile final like we've gotten used to in some of our more recent flights. And as you can see that white diamond now? Just about time. In fact, I'll say that... No, it's not quite time. I was just about to say it is time, but it's not quite time to engage. Because if you engage it now, what it'll do is it'll just turn right, like this, straight to Zatar. I'd rather not guarantee myself such a short final. Okay, time to re-engage the auto throttle. And to bring up the speed brakes. Okay, we're good. Boy, look at this. That looks like a winter landscape. It's nice to see. This would be so much less plausible if it were green on the ground right now in Nebraska in early February. Okay, there's that right turn at KBTA. Now we will switch over to Nav1 and we will switch over to APPR. And I bet you we're going to grab that glide slope. Shallow out our descent rate just a bit so that we sort of fly up into the glide slope, which is what we want. I don't know what the hell this is. Anyway, we're good, we're good. What is going on? Oh my gosh. Look at Lord of the Rings. The boards are replete with references to these weird spikes, these terrain spikes as we call them. It's at 170, 1 notch of flaps. This CDI shows you we're going to intercept this at just a perfect 30-degree angle. Boy, those are as bad graphical anomalies as I've ever seen. Wild. Headed to Zatar right now. Remember, we know that at Zatar we need to be at 2,400 feet, but we don't have to guess because we just grabbed the glide slope. This just turned green, so she's got it. Yeah, baby, she's got it. 8 miles out, we'll go ahead and go outside.
Landing gear.
There we go. Gears coming down. Do have some haze. Real-time weather did show 7 degrees and hazy. We're on the glide slope though, so we're looking good. Almost to Zatar, making that right turn. Look at this. Look at this. Oh my God. Let's fix this. This is fucked up. Oh, Jesus Christ. Listen, gang, I'm going to disable the autopilot because I don't want it to interpret this as a collision. They need to patch this. We're doing a deviation here, okay? Oh my God, this is as bad as I've seen. Auto throttle's disengaged, landing lights are on. Full flaps. You guys, look at this. That is as bad as I've ever seen it. I'm sorry, I'm deviating. I don't want to have the sim interpreted as a collision, which I suspect it probably would do. Wow. Anyways, I was saying the boards are replete with references to these weird spikes. And man, oh man, are we seeing them. Look at that. That is fucked up. Let's hope they've patched it. Okay, well, anyway. That's slightly impactful on realism. Trim, trim, trim. There's our runway. Still monitoring our glide slope using the PFD since we can't use the ILS with autopilot. Get that right rudder. There it is. Come on, right rudder. Winds are coming at us from the left, slightly in front of us at 8 knots.
2 mile final
No Poppies or Vossi, so we're really going to have to rely on that glide slope indicator on the PFD. Runway length's 9,502 feet, so we got a lot of room to work with. Graphical anomalies are gone. Thank God. Airspeed's 147. Let's get it down a little bit. Full flaps. Landing lights.
500.
Landing lights are on 500. PFD glide slope information indicates we are nominal. Runway 14 right. Should have zoomed in on the MFD, but I didn't get a chance because I was dodging terrain spikes. Inner marker 140. On the airspeed 14 right confirmed. Reversers. Wow, snowy runway. 65 knots. Reversers disengaged. I'm not going to get much in the way of help because ATC's busted. Oh, hey, what do you know? We got arrows. Nice.
Entered runway 18, 36.
Interesting. They want us to use another runway to exit. Where you want us? Where you want us? Okay, now there's a good chance to zoom in on the MFD to get a better view of the airport. Well, let's see if we can tune ground. Taxi to park and get some arrows. There we go. Okay, good. Let's bring in those spoilers and our flaps. Well, that was wild. I mean, really wild, you guys. That was crazy. Those spikes were absurd. Yeah, I did. My real concern was that it would interpret them as terrain, even though they were obviously graphical errors, and I didn't want it to crash us or to have the AI deem it a collision. So I elected to deviate. All right, let's get parked. Let's all do a moment of silence for the programmers who have yet to figure out how to get rid of those. Pray that they figure it out soon. That was ridiculous. I mean, it's comic, but it's also irritating, you know what I mean? It kind of messes with the realism of it all a little bit, just a tiny bit, you think? Let's see how this goes. Parking, that is. Let's see if we get any help. Cold and snowy, that's for sure, man. Minus 15 degrees Celsius here in Omaha. Why did I fly to Omaha? What the hell's the matter with me? In February. Couple of taxi lights. Ugh, not again. Jesus Christ. Oh, shit. Sorry. Sorry about that. This thing's got a lot of get up and go. All right. Parking brake. Right engine. Well, that's all right. He may have had his light flash before his eyes as I was zooming in at him, but we're safe. Wow. Welcome to Omaha. Local time, 5:06 p.m. And you got an unexpected tour of this. Good God. Come on, guys, please. Just curious about something. Yeah, you see? I wish I could zoom in faster just to let you see it, but ridiculous, right? Ridiculous. Anyway, what's not ridiculous is us. And there we are, parked safe in Omaha. And let's turn off our anti-icing equipment. Our remaining lights. And our left engine dropped the logbook screen, but we almost forgot the timer. Sorry, my bad. Hour and 4 minutes. Okay. Actual flight time, 57:33. So from KFNL to KOMA. Wild. I had no idea that we were going to encounter the graphical anomalies. I've spotted those graphical anomalies in a few other areas on my flight from Truckee to San Jose, but nothing as severe as that. Really, really wild. But listen, work in progress, I guess. Thanks for joining us.